So let's go first to the introduction of the multithreading. Before going into any formal definition, I want to drag your attention to this diagram which we have here. So this bigger round circle is the operating system, and we are having three processes running on it: first, second, third. Now suppose that this is our PowerPoint on which I am recording this session, means I am presenting this, and this process 2 is my video recording software, and this process 3 is something which is running inside, which is connecting to my internet. So we have these three processes running on there. Now why we are using the thread concept here? So this is our PowerPoint application, and now I'll show you how we are using threading concept here. So in my PowerPoint application, I am presenting. So I'm presenting the slideshow. So that is one thread running. Also, I'm using pen. So that is dealt by the second thread. And also, I'm recording the same PowerPoint presentation that is managed by the third thread. So in a same application, if we want to have the three parallel concurrent tasks running, then we use multi-threading concept. You got it? So that's why multi-threading concept is used. The other example can be your Microsoft Word. In Word you are typing also, and at the same time if you are typing something wrong, then dictionary is correcting it also. So 2, 3, 4 and moreover, if you want to change the font, then you can change the font also at same time. That is taken care of by some different thread. So typically in application, multiple threads run and all threads work parallelly so that you are getting a lot of features at same time. So this is the use of the multi-threading. So basically multi-threading in Java is a process of executing multiple threads simultaneously. A thread is a lightweight sub-process, the smallest unit of processing. Now, what is the difference between thread and process? Now you can see clearly that a process can have multiple threads. But remember one thing, that a process will have minimum one thread. Okay, and a process can have multiple threads also. So the difference between the process and thread is that process occupies a different memory section, but threads share the same memory. So this is the process 1, this is using a separate memory, this is process 3, this is using a separate memory, but these threads are sharing the same memory space for their execution. So multiprocessing and multi-threading both are used to achieve the multitasking. And why we are doing this? For multitasking, so that our application can do multiple tasks together. As I gave you the example of PowerPoint, we are doing the recording also, we are presenting the slides also, we are using pen also, so everything we are just going concurrently. So this is to achieve the multitasking, we are using multi-threading here. However, we use multi-threading than multiprocessing because threads use a shared memory area. As I told, the threads are inside a process, so you give a memory to a particular process, and same memory will be used internally by the threads. So they all use the shared memory area, and they do not allocate separate memory areas. So we save memory and context switching between the threads. So the thing is, if you are having different processes, then we need to allocate different memory space to all those processes, and then context switch is also needed. If we are running process 1 and now if we want to run process 2, then we have to switch the context. That is, now we have to remove the process 1 and we have to load the process 2, give the process 2 to the CPU. So this time gap is called context switching. So we save all these memory and context switching times, which will happen if we have different process. So that's why multi-threading, and that's why threads are lighter and threads are better way if we want to do the multitasking. Now, the example is that Java multithreading in games, in Meson, PowerPoint, Word, I told, where you have to implement different functionalities, and if you want to run all those functionalities at the same time. So that's why we use the multi-threading. Okay. Now advantage. What are the advantage of using the multi-threading? Advantage is that it does not block the user because threads are independent and you can perform multiple operations same time. You can perform many operations together, so it saves time. Threads are independent, so it does not affect the other threads if an exception occurred in a single task. Now example is of word processor, and the other example which I have used in industry is the chunk processing, distributor worker concept, producer consumer scenarios, and these are the places, these are the scenarios where we are using the multi-threading. Now I'll give you one example from my side which is getting used in industry. So suppose that you have big data, very much large size of data which you need to write in a file. So this is an output file where you need to write that data, and you are getting this data from a database. So this is that database, and what you need to do, you need to write a query, and through this query you and make a connection to database and collect all the data into the array list, and then you are writing into this file. Now suppose that this array list contains the 1 million of the data, 1 million data. Then it will take a lot of time if you are processing one by one each record, and then after processing, suppose that you took one record and you did some processing, and then you are writing that into output file, then second, then third, then fourth, then it will take a lot of time. So instead of doing that, what if you break this array list into 100 of size? Okay, so first 100 you give it to one thread, second 100, like 0 to 100 give to the first thread, 100 to 200 give to the second thread, and in same way third thread, and all these threads will independently write to the file. Independently they are writing to the file. It is writing to this, it is writing to this, this is writing to this. So in this way what we are doing, that at the same time concurrently we are writing our data to the file. So if this will take 10 minutes, so this will definitely take 1 minute if we have the 10 threads right here. So that's how multi-threading will be helpful. In the same way, we can use in different scenarios also. So I gave you one example. This is also called the chunk processing. Chunk processing. So multi-threading is very important thing, and so you must have now idea what is multi-thread, what are threads basically, what is multi-threading, and how multi-threading is going to be helpful to us, because it is going to provide the concurrency, and which is a very interesting thing because it will save our time, because many operations will happen at same time. Instead of one by one, just do everything parallelly. So this is how multi-threading is going to help us. So let's go to the next video to learn about some more concepts.